Okay. I think we did it. I think we're live in all places for the first time ever. Welcome one, welcome all. I guess to get us started for the evening, for those of you who don't know me, I'm DM Dave from Careful Cantrip. I run D&D, and I love D&D all day, every day. This is our very first test stream where we're doing a multi-stream across multiple platforms just to try it out for the first time. We're on the YouTubes, we're on the Twitch, we're on the TikToks right now. And because this is our first time ever, no sound. No sound. Okay, hang on. I can probably fix that. Can we see YouTube? I think we can see YouTube. Hang on, let me double check. Naomi, you can hear me? Okay, good. Someone, Raina, if you could put a comment in YouTube right now, we'll see if it pops up on screen. So what we're doing, guys, I've set it up hopefully so that you can see all the comments right here. I can't see YouTube on the main video. I cannot see that either, so I'm going to have to check that out in a second. And for those of you on TikTok, if you're wondering what all these messages coming in are, these are from our various other platforms. Come join us over there. I'm putting in so many. I know, Raina, I can see. Let me see what's wrong on my side. I'm also on Twitch. Amazing. So we're doing something a little new today. I thought I'd come on to do a little test stream. We're going to do some jigging and some testing while we're here to see if figured out the issue. Well done, OG. Well done. Steve, I do notice you there over on the YouTubes. This is very, very jarring. There's so many different chats on my screen right now. So yeah, we're going to be testing a couple things out just to try it out for the first time ever. So if you have any D&D questions, throw them in chat, whatever chat that you sit on right now, and I'll try and answer them as we go along. And OG, hopefully good luck with your issues that you're having. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can fix chatception. Exactly, Con. It's exactly right. Question: what the fuck is D&D? Well, my friend, D&D. Whew. That is a mouthful. It is a fun time with friends where you can pretend that you're different people and get away from the real world for once in your life. Has being dumb managed to mute the browser tab? Well done, OG. How's everybody doing, by the way? Is everybody having a good Sunday so far? Hopefully you're enjoying your Sunday so far. All right, bear with me for 1 minute here. I'm going to go see if I can watch on TikTok. 1 moment. Sure, you can go ahead and do that. Hey, fancy! Whoa. Sub. Thanks so much for the sub. Welcome back for 21 months, my friend. Always a pleasure to see you. What's in your coffee? A lot of vodka right now. Lots of vodka. All right, give me 1 second. Encourage your viewers to share your live and invite more friends. I don't know how to do that, TikTok. I'm watching this at work instead of working, so day's going good. Fantastic, Draken. Well done, my friend. Well done. Give me uno momento, guys. Let me see if I can do some quick magic on my side. What the hell is this thing called again? This is called Botrix. That's the one that I'm looking for. Hang on. I'll figure this out. Get rid of this. Go to this. Go to this. Chat. I think this is what I'm supposed to do. That's weird. You should be coming in on YouTube, and for some reason you were not. Interesting. All right, I'm gonna have to look into that to figure out what the hell's going on there. D&D questions. Will you do D&D things at Gen Con again this year? Yes, we will. What we're going to be doing for Gen Con this year, I don't know if we've fully been approved yet, but we're in the midst of sending in our panels that we want. For those of you who don't know, Gen Con is a little strange. They make you actually submit your panels before you can actually go through with it. They'll approve it for you and whatnot. So we've got a few. We're going to be doing, I believe the plan is to try and do 2 live plays this year and then 2 panels. I think that's the big one that we're going to be doing this year. In terms of what we're doing for the panels, I think tentatively we're trying to do something on how to better improv within your roleplay. And then the second thing is how to be a D&D content creator. We did live last year, or just streaming in general last year. We're going to step it up a little bit this year, and we're going to be doing some content creation stuff this year. Should be interesting. I'm excited for it, mostly because I think we're waiting on one person still, but the whole crew is coming this year. We're having everybody from the CC cast come down this year. We're waiting on confirmation from one person, but that's the plan so far. That's the plan. Still sounds like a lot, Raina, don't die. Well, I mean, luckily we have a lot of different people that are going to be coming this year. So we're going to spread it out a little bit. There's going to be some of us on some panels. There's going to be others of us on other panels. That's kind of the goal right now. I don't know. Again, a lot of stuff is up in the air right now in terms of exactly what we're going to be doing for Gen Con. Mostly because we still have to wait to find out what we're allowed to do. You should run a game or two that people could pay to play in. We've talked about that, Killa. We've talked about that quite a bit. So we haven't said this is just for the panels and whatnot, but we're thinking about it. We're thinking about it at this point. But I will be. I mean, either way, I will be running one of the live plays this year, 100%. And I got a really cool idea. It may or may not have to do with seeing a character from all of our campaigns come back, or multiple. I've always wondered what Alara would think about V, or what Lucy would think about Greymoor. Could be interesting. And then, of course, Campaign 3 coming up on January 16th, right around the corner. Holy Jesus, it's real quick. It's real quick coming up. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll see. There's going to be announcements before we head into it. We're probably going to bring some friends on as well. Hanging out with Rob, absolutely. We're definitely going to be doing that as well. I haven't had a chance to talk to Rob fully what his plans are. I think he's finally made the announcement that he will be. He is going to be joining. I don't know. It's up in the air. I haven't had a full conversation with him yet, so give it some time. We'll try and figure it out, make some announcements as they come. D&D question. Can I have $5? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Not from me, but I'm just saying you can have $5. You really banning Bard? No, we're not actually banning Bards. Bards are not going to be banned in the next campaign. Aarakocras, on the other hand, we're considering it. We're considering get rid of Aarakocras. It was an avian bird flu that ran through the entire world, and well, you know, we'll see. We'll see. Aarakocras just made the list. Aarakocras have always been on the list since campaign 1. That has been a definite thing. For those of you who don't know, in campaign 1, one of my players went with Aarakocra, and I didn't realize how big of a pain in the ass it was to have just flyers at level 1. So we had this big joke that we kept on going on with, is that they were in a jungle-esque type setting, and it was kind of fun that we had the canopy was always way too thick, and he wasn't able to break through the canopy, so he couldn't do like a high-up aerial view. I know. It was probably a dumb thing to do at the time. I would probably change it up going forward. Hold on, this is one of the very, very loud songs that I need to take off the playlist. Let me just deal with this for a second. And there we go. We'll go back over to this one. But I think I would definitely handle it differently going forward. But I do think Aarakocras are a little bit broken, having the ability to fly it like right off the hop. I think that's a little much. It's a little much to deal with. It kind of makes them a little OP depending on what your stance is on flying. D&D question, did you pick which minis you want yet? I have not, Fancy. I'm sorry. I'm working hard on that. The issue that I'm running into right now is the fact that, and it's not really an issue, it's just a very great thing. We have finally connected, for those of you who don't know, if it hasn't been announced on all platforms yet, we have officially brought on a producer for our show, an actual professional producer who's going to help us walk through all this kind of stuff and help me run the tech. I think it's been a long time coming for us. We were looking for someone for quite some time, but wanted to make sure that we found the right person. It fit well with our group. So going forward, not right off the hop, not episode 1. I'm still going to be running the tech on my side, but hopefully we can gradually, over the course of January, push away from me having to handle all the tech, and I can just focus on DMing. And boy howdy, once I have that capability, we're going to be in good times, my friends. We're going to be in good times. Oh my god, I made it to TikTok. Congratulations. What's your favorite D&D class? My favorite D&D class, I would probably go with... Okay, this is a bit of a hot take. This is a little bit of a hot take because I don't think they are the best class. I think they are proper unutilized, and the way that they're written isn't great. But my favorite class has always been an Artificer. I'm an Eberron guy through and through. Always have been, always will be. Love that setting. Love what Keith Baker did with that. Actually, fun story is I got to meet Keith Baker for the first time ever in person at Gen Con. Super cool guy. He was really nice. He was really welcoming and whatnot. I don't know. We might do something later with him at some point in time. So, no spoilers, nothing confirmed yet. This is not a pre-announcement in any way, shape, or form, but we might have Keith Baker on at some point in time. But hey, I'll keep you posted on all of that. Looking good, handsome. Thank you so much, Peter. Good to see you as always. Welcome to the YouTube chats. Good times as always. Okay, while we're doing this...
Paint me yellow and call me banana.
Ooh. I'm in 2 places at once.
You are in 2 places at once, Peter. Well done. Well done. You've done well, my friend. You've done well. Raina, can you hear me on TikTok? How are the levels? How is the music? How is my mic? Let me know. I'd love to know, because that's the only thing I really can't monitor at this point. Dave, can you see TikTok chat? Yes, I can. You asked me what my favorite D&D class was, and I answered wholeheartedly. Thank you. Should I bring my gold Speedo again this year? Yes. If you would like anything signed, including golden Speedos, I am happy to do that for you this year. I'll have a secret word that will announce beforehand, so you can know exactly what you have to say for someone to sign something off. And OG, congratulations. You've leveled up to level 1. I don't know what that means. Congratulations. I'm very, very proud of you right now. Audio quality sounds not great, to be honest, but I'm not sure if that's my old phone. Interesting. Okay. Is the sound is the music too loud in comparison to my voice? B-Town, welcome in. As always, my friend, hopefully you were doing well for the evening. They have to be worn, though, as they're being signed. Exactly. You have to, if you're going to get it signed, you have to be wearing it somewhere. Sounds good to me on my phone. Perfect. Okay. Where are you listening from, Peter? Are you on TikTok as well, or are you just on Twitch? Dimitri, good to see you, my friend. Hopefully you're doing well. Music is a little loud. Okay, let me bring that down a little bit. It's very strange trying to do all this. Much love to our friends over at World Anvil. You guys are fantastic as always, and loved meeting you guys at Gen Con. Hopefully we can do something again next year. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I think I'm hearing your voice twice, though. You're hearing my voice twice. Interesting. Okay. Let me play with that for a minute. I will have to figure out what the hell is happening there. I'm on YouTube and Twitch. Okay. Yeah, I'm just... The TikTok piece is an interesting piece. I'm not really sure how it's all set up. I'm going through their live studio. It's a little bit different of a program. But, hey, I'm vertical, which that's already a win. Maybe I'm a level 1 pain in the butt. Never, OG. Never. The reason the music was sounding like that was well on TikTok. Yeah, it's a strange setup. It's a whole bunch of different things that are kind of all mixed up. But we're trying. We're getting it. Hopefully the music is a little bit lower now on that side. And by the way, again, TikTok, if you have any questions, feel free to pop them down in chat. We're talking about all things D&D. And I guess I need to do a little bit of an intro. I haven't actually done that for all the other people. On the YouTube, the music is quite silent. Okay. Also, Mira Lunar, welcome in, my friend. Let me see if I can adjust that on my side a little bit. Hopefully that fixes the YouTube and the Twitches for you guys. Right, intro. That's what I was talking about. There's so many things happening right now. This is all very new to me. So for those of you who don't know, if this is your first time being exposed to me, first and foremost, I'm sorry. You're in for a hell of a ride. I've been playing D&D for about 7 or 8 years now overall. I've reached into virtually every single aspect of this game. Running from creating my own worlds. I've created 3 now. I'm working on my 3rd as we speak. I've written tons of adventures and homebrew content, classes, monsters, lots of different things from that perspective. Aside from that, outside of the game itself, I've been a dice maker for about 2 or 3 years now. I'm pretty good at it. That's all I can say. Also, big fan of mini painting, terrain building. There's virtually nothing I haven't touched in terms of this hobby. So happy to answer any questions that you have on any of those topics. D&D question, how do you feel about your PCs playing fairies since they also fly? Killer, I think I've gotten over the flying aspect of things a little bit. I wouldn't mind if they have the ability to fly anymore. I think campaign 1, it was the first time dealing with a flying race on a regular basis. So I think going forward, I have some things that I would do that would kind of adjust for it a little bit. That would make it a little bit easier for it. I'd probably limit their flying height. I think that would be the number one thing in terms of how high they could fly. Maybe adjust it, but depending on what the race is. But that's probably why I would try and switch that up a little bit. Is this being simulcast to other platforms that I'm not on? I'll be on my best behavior. B-Town, don't you worry about that. Right now we are on YouTube, we're on Twitch, and we're on the TikTok. Just to try it out. This is completely a test stream to see how my computer runs with it, to see how sound works, all of those kind of things. Also, Raina, thank you for the rose. I don't know what that means. Hopefully I can eventually get things set up so that I can have both TikTok and Twitch and YouTube coming through the comments right here. Question, do you have any tips on world building? How fleshed out do you need fleshed out needs your world to be without losing yourself in the endless detail? That is a fantastic question. I think the number one aspect that I've learned from world building, in my time as a world builder, I've seen a number of different methods that you can do. Typically, two is what I hear go through the community most. You can do the bottom up approach or the top down approach. Just to give you a little more in terms of details around that, bottom up approach really means you build what you need for your next session. So you're really not ingraining yourself on the minutia details. You're just trying to figure out, okay, what do I need for my next couple sessions, if you will, and then build from there. If you need a tavern, build the tavern, flesh it out, make an NPC that runs that tavern. Maybe you have like a barmaid or something along those lines, put a couple NPCs in there and a quest board. That's more than enough to kind of get yourself started in terms of world building. From there, what do you need next? Well, you need a road to get to the adventures, and you can build that way. So that's the bottom-up approach. The top-down approach is a little bit more intensive, if you will, where you're really looking at it from almost a cosmic-like perspective first. You know, what is the intricacies of this world itself? What are the materials? What are some of the resources that you can find there? What is the pantheon that's going to be running within the world? I've kind of, after building, like I said, I'm on my third world that I've built at this point in time. I've tried all of the methods, and I find that the best way to go about it is doing a combination of the two, finding that hybrid middle ground. So what I mean by that is I started off with the newest world that we're going to be working on and running in the next campaign, the Neverwere. I started off with a little bit of a top-down approach where I fleshed out some of the major aspects of things. So, for example, I made sure that I knew what all the continents were. I knew who the pantheon was, how most of the religions worked from that perspective, how the faiths, what were their tenets, what were their belief systems, maybe some details in terms of things that would be important for the players to know. And I think that's the biggest point that I can say in terms of overall world building is you can easily get lost in world building. And I think it's a lot of fun to be a world builder if that's the hobby and you really enjoy doing that. But I think the most important thing to focus on without going way over into the minutia details is think about it from the player's perspective. What is going to be important to the players? So that's why I utilized some of the instances of I really wanted to flesh out. There's a couple faiths that I've really put a lot of time and effort into for the next campaign, mostly because they are going to be pivotal points of the overall story. So I made sure that I knew what kind of temples that they have. What did they have inside of their temples at any given time? What is some of the what is some of the decorations and decor and colors that they used? What are the things that they have for their clothing? I tried to kind of key in on the visual aspects of it as much as possible because that's going to be what my players are perceiving. And that's what they're going to remember based on that faith. And then you can go into a little bit more intricate details. What are the faiths? What are the tenets? And that way you have stuff for paladins that you can utilize and then kind of build from there over time. So hopefully that answered your question. To sum it all up, focus on what's important to the players And then if there is something from the player's perspective that they really key in on that you haven't built yet, then take the time, sit down, spend a couple hours, and go through all that in a lot more detail in terms of how to kind of flesh that out. A little interesting tidbit, YouTube's looks flawless for me. Twitch is grainy. Interesting. Which for those like me that have not great internet on this workstation, I'll definitely go to YouTube. Interesting. Okay. Well, good to know. Good to know. Steve, you're over on Twitch now. Way to go, my friend. You're hopping back and forth. Love to see it. It is interesting that the source in Twitch is 720. Okay. I think I need to adjust that on my end, so I can fix that up once I'm offline. What is a cloud bread? Someone is sending me a cloud bread? Okay, fair enough. Can't escape me. Can confirm YouTube does appear to be streaming a higher quality. Fair enough. Yeah, I think that's mostly my fault. So basically, to give you guys a heads up, I just basically deleted OBS and rebuilt it all from scratch. So, there's some things I still need to tweak and fix up a little bit on the back end, but we're working on it. They're all money. All right, fair enough. So, donuts, perfume, and cloud bread. TikTok, you're a fucking wild place, man. I don't understand you. Like, just make one thing. Not a lot to be like a cent. Hey, listen, every cent every donut counts around here, Raina. Taking notes on world building. Well, hey, if you have any more questions, by all means, let me know. I'd be happy to answer any that you have. And hey, if you guys have any questions about campaign 3 as well, I'm opening it up. I'm opening up the kimono today a little bit, just to see how it feels. All right, while we have a little bit of pause in the chats, give me 1 second and let me see if I can fix this. Because hide message for bots, hide old messages, no, hide commands, yep. Maybe if I turn them all on? Let's see if that fixes things. Raina, can you put a note in YouTube, or can someone comment in YouTube on YouTube right now? I just want to see if I fixed the problem with our bot here. There are other ways around it, but I'd really like to combine the two. No, that's not working. Nope, poop. Yeah, no, it is poop. It is poop, Peter. That's what happens. Trying to figure this out. Okay. Let me make a note on that. Also, if there's any other poop, yeah, poop OG. I wish they had a little icon for you guys when you guys leveled up. Hey, TikTokers, I have a question for you. What does it mean to next question? How does it take to next? Yeah, that's how quick it goes by. If there's any content creators or streamers out there who have a viable ability to combine all of the chats into one, I would absolutely love to know. All right, done and done. Pooping is cap. That's true. Grim Reaper, you're leveling up too? All on your own? Well done. This is what I mean. I got to get you guys onto the other one. That's what's most important. I got to get you onto the bot Ricks or whatever the hell this thing's called. I think Justin noted it's against Twitch terms to combine all chat. Okay, but Twitch doesn't know what the hell they're doing in the first place, so... They'll say it's against terms of service today and then change it for me tomorrow. My username on TikTok is ADHD. Dave, are you using Restream's chat? No, I'm actually doing this all. I'm trying to do this all through a platform called Botrix. That was the best one that I was able to find so far. But Restream might be the right answer. If I can get TikTok, YouTube, and Twitch all in the same place, that would be fantastic. Question, guest stars for Campaign 3? Yes, that is something that we didn't really do much in Campaign 2 that I would like to open up more in Campaign 3. I have a lot of thoughts on Campaign 2 and kind of where we went right and where we went wrong on a lot of things. And I think having Campaign 2 all be in a centralized city had a major impact on what we could do. I definitely struggled with that a lot from my perspective. And I'm not blaming the player. I'll be very clear on this right now. But when Rob killed the guard, and we kind of got stuck where they were now essentially bandits or criminals within Dawn's Gate, that really limited things. And I struggled with that a lot in terms of how to make it interesting. I didn't struggle with the story as much, but just how to make it interesting with virtually like no travel. They were basically secluded to their safe house the entire time, and I had to find reasons to pull them out of it to go on to their adventures. That was something that I struggled with immensely in Campaign 2. So I think one of the things that, and going back to your question, Killer, is I had a problem with bringing guests on because I couldn't expose them to the greater world or the greater city at large. With Campaign 3, we are going to be taking a very different turn. We're going to go back to very similar style in terms of where and how we did, how they had access to things. So yeah, it's going to be free reign, but we're going to we're going to do a lot more guests coming in C3. We've already talked to a lot of people about wanting to come on. I can tell you that should I say this? Hang on, Steve. I guess I can say this, but I don't because I don't know exactly when, so it still will be a surprise. I would say Rob will be coming on. Rob Hartley will be joining for as a guest spot in Campaign 3 for sure. We've had some of our other friends that we've worked in the past that is going to be that'll be coming on. I'm sure AJ from Winter's Tales will be coming on as well. Brandon the DM from Cantrip Cast. Playmat is also going to be on there. We want to bring on a plethora of people for Campaign 3. So yeah. Also, Alaskan Mike, it has been a very long time. Hopefully you're doing well, my friend. And thank you so much for the first. Did you ask a question as well? Long time no see. Glad to see you're still here for us. Always, Alaskan Mike. Always. I ain't going anywhere. Ain't going anywhere anytime soon. PCs do something crazy and are exiled from the city? Who do you think? Yeah, really. Tell me about it. But now we don't necessarily have to worry about that as much anymore. I think with Campaign 3, again, it's going to have a lot more feel like it did in Campaign 1, where they can move around a lot. So, hey, we might see the return of the Sausage Festival. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe another round of Spank the Monkey, you know? These are all things that could potentially happen in Campaign 3. Testing highlighted messages on here. Well, thank you so much for the gifted, Raina. Appreciate you. And Launch to Sync Gaming. Congratulations. If you are in chat, say thank you to Raina for that. Now I know why Rob's not part of Campaign 3. No, that is not the case whatsoever. I'll be very, very clear on that. Listen, Careful Cantrip is a commitment. It is a long-term commitment for people. And when people have been playing for as long as they have since the beginning of campaign 1, you know, it just there's when time passes, we might have to say goodbye to some players as we go along. And we still got lots of love for them. No animosity for any of the players that left. That includes Swiss, Rob, Chris, D. Love them all to death still to this day. No issues whatsoever. But, you know, it is a commitment. It's a very large commitment. So, but that, yeah, no, we didn't. That was not. I'll be very clear on that, Grim Reaper. LeBlancan, welcome in. Hopefully you're enjoying your Sunday. How are you? As you know how life is. Could be better, could be worse. It's been a crazy year. Here's to hoping for a better 2024. Absolutely agree, my friend. 2023 was, it was interesting. It had, I usually say hills and valleys, but last year was mountains and pits, I think. There's no variation. There was ultra highs and ultra lows. But hey, these things happen sometimes. Hey, those chickens aren't going to choke themselves. Exactly, B-Town. Everyone loves a good sausage festival? I hope so. Taking any D&D conceptual lore questions, chat and Carol for Cantrip? Absolutely. Ask away. Today is the day. By all means, ask any questions that you have. I'll try and answer the best that I can. The new supergroup, Swiss, Rob, and Christy. You never know. I'd watch that show. Would love to see Rob and Swiss on for some guest star stuff. That's a possibility as well. Like I said, we are going to be reaching out to a lot of people in terms of bringing them on for Campaign 3. Mostly as guest spots, and as you know, guest spots, they range a lot from an episode to 2 or 3, maybe 4 sometimes. I know we did that with Holson back in Campaign 1. And we'd like to see more of that happening. Everyone walks a path in life. We should be grateful that our paths run alongside each other for at least some time. Exactly, Alaskan Mike. I've always said that in life, you know, people come in for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. Take that for what you will. Awesome. Faerun Sword Coast setting. So there was this bandit group for about a year led by A's business model was manufacturing book forgeries and selling them. A always moved their group from town to town, so they were rather untraceable. Eventually, A's luck ran out and they got killed. When A died, their underling took over the forgery business and decided to go big. They moved their operations to a large town, charging quadruple prices, where, of course, they were spotted by a disgruntled customer who sends PCs after them. What sort of race would fit these clumsy commons? If we're going Faerun Sword Coast, I like... Well, I mean, it really depends on how you run the races within that place. Personally, I would lean a little bit more towards gnomes. I think that would be fun because they do have, in my mind, gnomes have the work ethic, but they are a little silly, wacky-ish at times. That which differentiates them from dwarves a lot. Dwarves being a more focused, work ethic, where gnomes are a little bit more fun. Halflings kind of sit in the middle there, but that's what I would recommend. I would 100% go for gnomes because, yeah, those exact reasons. Can we at least bring the wig back for an appearance? Possibly. Maybe. We'll see. Kobolds could work too. I think kobolds would also be a very good fit, Grim Reaper. God, I really wish I could merge these chats. One day. Actually, Peter, do you know how that works? Can I merge... If I restream, can I merge YouTube and Twitch chats together? Is that a possibility? I wish I knew in the past what I do now. I can't say I regret anything or wouldn't be who I am now, but hindsight really is 20/20. Life's full of surprises. 100% agree, my friend. It's all a ride. I mean, that's what this life is at the end of the day. It's just a big, long ride. Sometimes you get it right, sometimes you get it wrong. But hey, just go with it, man. We're all here for a little while, and it's just the experience that we're having. What do you think of a player that sees the DM as an adversary rather than another player at the table? It's a bit taxing as the DM for it to be set against the players. Well, I mean, that was a very older mentality from the game prior to the rejuvenation back in 5e. I think that when you go back, a bubonic plague. Welcome to the Tripper family, my friends. Is that where you came from? Hold on, let me just see. God, this is very difficult to do. It was. Okay, fantastic. And yes, by all means, bubonic plague, ask away your questions. I'm happy to answer what I can. Sorry, Con. Yeah, like I was saying, back in 3rd edition and earlier editions, because of the way that the games were ran at that point in time, it kind of did feel like it was a player versus DM adversary situation. There was, I'm not saying there wasn't role play, but there was a high level of the perception that it was DM versus player, because they were just going to, dungeons, or it was mostly it was a much more mechanical and crunchy game at that point. I think 5e really brought out the roleplay aspect, where the DM had to really refocus and learn again how to manage their table a little bit better, where they're both the adversary and the helper at the same time. So I think that how I can only talk about how I handle things from that perspective. I try and make it so that I'm always rooting for my players. I always want to make sure that they are the heroes, because that's what they are in my mind. They are the heroes of the story. I am simply the narrator and facilitator of said story. It's really their story at the end of the day. So, I'll cheer for them when they get their crit hits. I'll be upset when they crit fail. And there's a certain level of trust that you have to build up at the table. Dealing with a player like that, I would try and help focus on their character a little bit more, maybe help them grow, help them tell their individual story a little bit more. And I'm not saying solely focus on that player, but I think that will help to start build the trust between you and the player, and they'll see you not so much as an adversary, but someone who's helping to facilitate their story, that is putting obstacles in their way rather than trying to kill them with monsters. I think that would be the first step in terms of building that trust between the two of you. That's what I've done in the past with my players, to the point of where, I go back to some of the scenarios that I've put my players in throughout our campaigns, and they unquestionably trust me at this point, because they know they can. They know I'm not trying to do them dirty or outright kill their characters. So, you got to change your own way of dealing with people at the table. So, for example, if you're saying, when the monster doesn't hit, make it a little bit more like, didn't really happen, and celebrate the players' successes so that they can see that you're on their team. The second step, I would work towards building the trust, maybe help focusing on that player a little bit more, helping them push their story so that they're growing, they're evolving, and they can see that they can trust you. And if that still doesn't work out, if it's them problem and they just have it set in their own mind that it's like, no, this is how D&D is played, I'm against the DM, I don't know if that's the player that's right at the table for you. And that's a conversation that you might have to have at some point in time. And I just want to be really clear on this, because it combines what I'm saying right now to what someone asked me in chat about, Rob Swiss, all of that kind of stuff. Just because, you don't work out at a table together doesn't necessarily mean that you're not friends. That's always been a misnomer that I think is a worry that some DMs have. If a player isn't right for your table, it's just because your play styles don't work. just because, listen, I love RPGs. Well, I'll give a good example. You know, I play video games. I like RPGs. I like world building stuff in games like, you know, Ark and Minecraft and things along those lines. I've never been good at first person shooters. Never in my life have I been good at them. So I don't necessarily play them. It's just not a genre that I'm interested in. Now, does that mean my friends that love FPS games and I aren't friends because we don't have the same game style? We don't like the same things? No, absolutely not. It's just a differing of opinion. And it should be the same kind of mentality at the table for you of, this is the type of game that I play. This is the type of game that I run. If you don't like it, that's fine. There's no harm, no foul. But, you know, you got to have a level of communication there for it. That was a very long-winded answer. So,
Paint me yellow and
Jesus,
call me banana.
You earned my bitties for that answer. Thanks, buddy.
You're very welcome, Con. Con, thank you for the bits. God, I love yelling your name. Okay, hold on. Don't cross the streams. Have you ever seen Ghostbusters or peed in a urinal? True. I have peed at urinals before. It's a big difference. You should not cross those streams. Okay, let me keep going here. I'm on the opposite end of that. My DM is really linear and it has no wiggle room for players to change their story. Now I'm desperate to find some way to break that silly chain before the other players get bored. I tried to talk to him about it and it just got more linear. That's a tough one. I mean, railroading is... It's a tough challenge. It's a tough challenge. I think that really sits in the hands of the DM. And what I mean by that is I'm a fan of railroading to a certain extent. I think I don't remember who coined the term, but they called it highwaying. And I liked that a little bit more, where you're going to the same destination, but you can take multiple routes to get there. That to me makes way more sense. Because as much as people say, oh, I want a sandbox game, sandbox is the only way to go. Linear railroading is wrong, it's bad, blah, 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 blah. I don't agree with that at all. Because a true sandbox game is where you basically just put the players in the world and say, go at it, have at it. There's quests out there, there's things out there, go figure it out, go find them. And that's not what players want. Players want... they want the ability to have choices. I always look at the perfect D&D game should emulate a choose your own adventure to the best of your ability, where you set options, 2 or 3 options that a player can go down, and then they choose which way they want to go down that road. To railroad them into just one specific thing, obviously you're taking away a certain amount of agency. And you really don't want to do that to the players because then they lose interest in the game really quickly. And if you're going to take away player agency, hey, here's a hot tip for you. Might be a hot take. Go write a book. D&D is not the game for you if you're forcing your players to go down a specific road. But if you try and go sandbox, you're going to kill yourself as a DM. There's just too many options out there. And you can pivot and move around a little bit. I've found ways to do that. But at the same time, you'll kill yourself with it. So take the highway approach. Think about it more as a choose your own adventure. Try and find 3 options to give them. And then you're giving the players, you're allowing them the agency while still giving them prompts. That's the most important thing to do. The adversary aspect came from lethality of the games in first and 2nd edition. Exactly. And 3rd edition. I think 3rd edition had a heavy hand in that as well. And you can tell just by how mechanical those games are, how crunchy that they are. They put very specific rule sets in for how to use certain mechanics within the game, where a lot of that got pivoted and moved off within 5th edition. I'm only against them in the sense I provide them and their characters the challenges and oppositions that help them grow and create cool experience. So with love. Exactly. There is a great book out there by the penman's author name is John Wick, I believe, but it's called Playing Dirty. And it's a fascinating book because it's all about how to be a GM or DM where you're creating pretty harsh trials and tribulations for your players to go through, but you're not an outright killer DM. You're just playing dirty in the sense of creating stacked obstacles that make it more and more difficult for the players, and that always made sense to me, because I was like, well, these are supposed to be the heroes of the universe, right? At the end of the day, they're supposed to be the ones who save everyone. So I think it's good to put trials and challenges in front of your players, but not outright try and, have murderous intent against them. Also, Raina Ray, thank you for the $2 super chat. I think that's what they're called on YouTube. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. Hang on. This is for a race. I wanted to know if there is a wolf race. I know there are feline hippos and elephants. There isn't necessarily a wolf race in particular. I believe there was one called a shifter race that I can't remember what source book it came in, but it was very much, I think it might have been, it was either Van Richten's or a Wayfinder's Guide. It was one of those two, I believe. I could be completely wrong on that, but they had very much a likened werewolfy kind of feel to them. And I think that was their attempt at doing a more wolf-like one. But I mean, again, I would talk to your DM about it. There's lots of different homebrew options out there that are very, very good. They have been play tested. They have done everything to make it a good race to play. I guess species now is what we're supposed to be calling them. But I would have a conversation with the DM, or alternatively, if you are the DM, there's lots of great options out there for you. But if you're looking for something as like official rules as written, I think Shifter is probably the closest that you're going to get. Maybe not related to other stuff, but just sharing my recent experience as a DM. My party reached level 13, 4 paladins and 1 optimized ranged fighter. God, these guys are strong. Yep. Almost like little Thanos traveling the world a favor, and the world gives them too little respect given their powers. That's a lot. Level 13. I mean, it's great that you're getting to level 13. I saw some statistics that were sent out probably about a year and a half ago at this point in time, where most D&D campaigns end around level 10. So it's rare to see, apparently it's rare to see higher level games, which makes sense because that takes a lot of time to get to level 13. I mean, I'm guessing that you've probably been going for a year and a half, 2 years, maybe longer than that. And it gets a little bit more difficult at level 13 to start putting them up against adversaries. Because, I mean, technically, if you look at something like an Archmage, again, this is official stat blocks, I think an Archmage is like level 11, and in which case it's kind of like, well, what do I put up against them at this point in time? So I'd be interested to know LeBlanca. I'm going to call you LeBlanca because that's easier for me to say. What kind of stuff are you throwing up against them at level 13? I'd be interested. Have you gone down the road of, because generally my thought process behind it is like up to level 10, they're still dealing with, basically humans and humanoids and things along those lines. And then I start moving into some of the stronger monsters. Mostly I go towards the demon route. That's really where I kind of start landing, because now we're starting to scale a little bit more. Try possession. Powerful players often forget how scary their teammates can be. True. Possession's a tough one, though, because I don't necessarily like to take away player agency. Dominate monster. Are you familiar with paladin auras and their auras? Autosave most of the day. Jeez. Railroading is a fine line. Sure, you should guide your players and lead them to the next place, but they need to have choices. Also, Maddie666, I see you in TikTok. Thank you so much for joining us. If you guys have any questions over on the TikTok side, I'm getting to them as quickly as humanly possible. I can see you, even though you can't really see in chat. I've gone the video game route. They've got the main story to continue through, but I've basically set up the stuff related to their backstories, and as a side quest, tell them that they can do them in any order. Yes, exactly. And that's definitely what I'm doing for campaign 3. I definitely do want to spread it out a little bit more in terms of giving them the ability to select where they want, which quests they want to go on a little bit more. I've very structured way of how I've put that all together, and maybe I'll do a stream on that. We've done that in the past in terms of how I organize my campaigns and looking at it through the story web, dealing with the hierarchy of, okay, here's my big bad at the very top. What are they trying to accomplish? What do they have to do to get there? And then breaking those down into bite-sized pieces of, okay, well, they're trying to take over the world and they're going to be using this magical spell to do it. What do they need for that magical spell? They need components. So that's an entire, set of webs that kind of branch out and say, okay, here are all the different things to go get the spell components. Now they need to research the spell because it's in some ancient language. They need to decipher it. Well, how do they decipher it? Here's another column of an entire spread out way of sessions and quests and things like that the players can go on. And then finally they need the location of the ritual and prepping that location. So I have a very specific way, but it all kind of leads, all roads lead to Rome, as they say at the end of the day. So that's kind of where my thought process goes in terms of building out my campaign map. 4 level 15 PCs versus... Oh my god.
Banana.
You earned my bits for that answer.
You're
Thanks,
very
buddy.
welcome. They can have ridiculous powers. But I mean, races should be slimmed down. That should just be base stats at that point in time. And that's why I'm not really a big fan of Aarakocras and Flight and things along those lines. I think that's just a little too OP overall for first level. But a Bubonic Plague, thank you so much for the 100 bits. Much appreciated, my friend. Yep, I've always tried to give my players 2-3 choices to pursue a general narrative. Sandbox sessions I've done as a player went horribly, to be honest. Well, yeah, exactly, because it's kind of like, you can do whatever you want. And then they're going to be like, well, what do I do with that? So you kind of have to lead them. You got to lead a fish to water to drink the horse. I think that's how the saying goes. Didn't realize Keanu wrote a book about gaming. It's true. Keanu Reeves is one of the best DMs out there. He just doesn't tell anybody about it. 4 level 15 PCs versus 1 ancient and 3 adult black dragons and an ancient green dragon is the type of enemies we face. That is pretty hectic. That's pretty heavy. How come you just went with dragons, Grim Reaper? Is there a reason that you really focused on that? That's something that I'm also going to be doing my best on in terms of giving variation in the combat a little bit more. And I was definitely inspired a little bit more by what I saw with Baldur's Gate 3. I think they did a great job creating a very dynamic combat encounters where it was all that, like, the locations of things and where they put ranged fight enemies versus, the tanky, what's the word I'm looking for? What are the big brutes? Brutes are the one that I'm looking for. They had the big brutes in the center and then had ranged kind of pushing down on them. I think they did a very good job with kind of adding that dynamic and variation to actual combat encounters. And I'm trying to mimic that a little bit more in terms of how I'm going to be doing that in campaign 3. Best dessert, sweet waffle, vanilla ice cream on top, toffee soft, sprinkle cinnamon on top. God damn, that sounds fantastic. Whew. I would like that on a drink, please. Okay, more questions. Oh, nice. I caught up. Oh, Love Murder Rose. Welcome in. I just DM'd my first session last night, and I'm still riding the emotional high. Hell fucking yes, Love Murder Rose. Rose, congratulations on taking that first step. It can be very nerve-wracking. Dude, I remember my first couple games, the classic DM sweats. I was dying. But to get over that hump and finally get into the chair and really start kind of experiencing the DM side of things it's a whole new world. It's a whole new world that you've opened up to yourself. And I think what's interesting, and one thing that I'm learning, I actually heard someone saying this in a bit of a pod show D&D talk show TTRPG thing, how different the game is from the player's perspective versus the DM's perspective. where the players are really confined to the player's handbook. That's how they play the game, right? I mean, taking away the nuances of the individual player from a role-playing perspective or how they want to play their character, they have finite rules that say, here's the player's handbook, here's how you play this game. Where the DM, we don't necessarily have those same restrictions. And the comparison that the individual made was where the players have the player's handbook, we have the Dungeon Master's Guide and the Monster Manual. The cool thing is that as the DM, you can switch out those resources whenever you want. So say, for example, you can take out the Monster Manual, the official one, and just plop in Tome of Beasts from Kobold Press. Huge shout out to Kobold Press, by the way. I got onto them probably, it's been almost a year now. I never really paid that much attention to their stuff. I've really dived in as of late, and they are amazing publishers. One of the best out there, I would argue. So yeah, I mean, you can move, and it's the same thing with the DM's guide. You can easily pull that out and turn around and say, okay, I forget who the publishers were. They brought it up during the podcast, but there's a book out there called, I think it's Uncharted Journeys is the name of the book. But it really focuses on how to run better wildlife or wild exploration, how to deal with all of that, and new ways to think about all of that. So just keep that in your back of your mind, Rose, that you have the ability to switch out whatever you want whenever you want it, and it just adds to the game. I've never had a player argue with me and be like, that's not how roll tables work. That's not how traps work in the DM's guide. This is just have at it. The more variation you add to your game, the more fun your players are going to have with it. Player said I did super well in the world building and RP, but I know I need to work on combat. It was too easy. Again, this is a lifelong commitment. Once you get bit by the DM bug or GM bug, I think that it's hard to go back. At least I struggle with it. I don't mind doing kind of things here and there in terms of like doing one-shots or playing with friends. But I'm a forever DM. I mean, I was born in fire with it. I started playing this game as a DM, not as a player first. I started as a DM first. So for me, that's how I like playing this game. And I think it's because of how much options and how much variation I get to it. I feel completely free as a dungeon master, where I feel a bit more constrained from a player's perspective. But I think you can only understand that once you sit in the DM's chair. I struggle a bit with combat. There's a book called The Monsters Know What They're Doing. It gave me great insight into monster tactics for all kinds of things. 100%. A little tip I would say, just because I know you're starting off, Rose, in terms of how to deal with combat, the best thing I would suggest is, and maybe we can do a little bit deeper dive in another stream in terms of the different roles of your enemies, like what is a mobile versus what is a brute versus what is a tank versus what is a meat shield. We all know these names because they've said it in video games many times before. But how do you translate that to D&D? And we can chat about that at some point in time. I think it would be a good idea to do a stream on that at some point. But to really get a little bit better with combat without really going crazy with it is just add different combat strike types. Have an upfront melee person where they can take a lot of hits, they can dish it out a fair amount, but at the same time you also have ranged individuals in the back. That is enough for beginner level combat to add a little bit of variation to it without going overboard. And then start substituting some of those roles as you start feeling a little bit more comfortable with it. So, for example, maybe have a melee, but a melee and a range, but then add a summoner to it. I think that's a cool way just to start testing the waters a little bit for yourself. This is like the third time I've had the exact book suggested. I'm gonna have to bear down and get it now. It is a great book. It is a fantastic book. Monsters know what they're doing. I think there's 2 of them out there now. But fantastic book. I've read through it as well. Nate, I do see you, my friend. I'm sorry. I'm looking at 3 different chats right now, and it's very confusing at times. But I love you very much. I can't wait to play with you on Tuesday. It's going to be a lot of fun. Yes, we are going to be doing our very first pre-session or pre-stream session this Tuesday. I am extremely nervous about it, but very excited at the same time. And that's another thing to remember, guys. As a DM, you still get nervous at times. Something could make you nervous, and it's just going to happen. I've been doing this for years now. Like I said, I've been running games for 7 years now, I think. I've been doing it live in front of an audience for almost 3.5 at this point in time. I mean, it's you never really get over the nerves. But I mean, hey, I see it as if you get the nerves and you do it anyway, that's how you're building up your confidence. That's how you're building up your skill level. Yes, exactly. I think that's the perfect. I'm just going to call you Lunar for the time being because, or can I call it Mira? Mira, would you prefer Mira or Lunar? Nervous means you care. Absolutely, 100% agree. Newbie God, it's good to see you, my friend. I'm nervous all the time. These things happen. Trust me. Anxiety is real, my friend. It is real deal, Holyfield. Got to run to work. Thanks for doing this. I'm actually be able to watch live. Grim Reaper, we might do more of these. We'll see. This is just our test stream. We're trying to figure things out right now. I definitely would love to start doing more of these kind of things. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. LV, good to see you. Love you. Hopefully you're having a good day. Hopefully you're enjoying your movie, whatever it is. Actually, no, I'm on too many platforms to make those kind of jokes right now. Say whatever is easier to pronounce. Mira, it is, my friend. Practice session. Basically, it's a practice session. Hell yeah, but butterflies with every new baby you've made, right? For the most part, yeah. It's very different from time to time. Especially, I think the nerve is that it's new players at the table who I have an immense amount of respect for as role players. It's a brand new world. It's a new feel for it all. You know, campaign 2 was a little bit more serious. It was a little grim darky, where this, I kind of want to lean back into the lighter side of things. So I think it'll go well, and plus I'm dealing with all the new tech with like the new stage and stuff. There's a lot happening. I still get nervous before a session, but I still get nervous before a session, but I feel better once it gets started, although I still get shaky nerves when doing the big cutscenes. Well, I mean, Steve, you're pretty new to DMing as well, right? Like, not brand new or anything, but this is, I think we talked about this before, and this is your first full big campaign that I think you've ever run before? It does get easier in time. Since you wanted to know what my party recently faced, I'm reposting my answer. I'm sorry about that. What? Chat, please stop jumping for me. My level 13 recently, they got summoned by a god to fight a fight that affected causality. Interesting. They encountered like 5 waves of enemies, all in all, 30 gnomes, 15 flins? I don't know what a flind is. 1 yenagu, 3 arcane mind flayers, and 3 Marlith. One PC almost died, had 90% of resources drained. Jesus Christ, that's a massive, massive combat. How long did that take to run, out of curiosity? Gonna go grab food. Have a good evening, guys. Maddie, good to see you as always. Take care, my friend. Hopefully you enjoy the rest of your day. Whew. Had my first game one-shot as a DM at end of November. I'm preparing my first real adventure and campaign for quite a while now, but wanted to get a first impression of DMing before starting a serious game. All monsters were homebrewed. Trying out Foundry as a DM and all that stuff was lots of fun for all, but also a lot of stress. It can be. It can get pretty stressful from time to time, especially if you're trying to homebrew everything right off the hop. I mean, good on you for giving it a shot. I think if you continue on down the path, you're kind of running the gauntlet and jumping right into the fire at that point by doing homebrew, by doing all those kind of things. One thing I would mention, especially if you're doing homebrew monsters, be careful with it at first. You might do something that makes them way too OP, and it could become a big problem for players. You could easily TPK that way. So I would say if you're going to do all homebrew stuff, which I highly encourage, highly encourage, just be comfortable with making adjustments on the fly. That's the number one most important thing I can say, specifically when it comes to homebrew stuff. Ooh, let me turn this down a little bit. Why? Ooh. Oh, right, because I'm using a different hand. New world, a baby you've worked on, new players, new player configuration, new tech, all of the things. It is also okay to fail. There is no, I don't think there is failing though. Especially when it comes to running games. Essentially, what it boils down to is, you have to make the mistakes to learn how to grow. That is the equivalent, if you accidentally TPK a party, there's no reason why you can't just kind of do a quick autosave and go back and say, guys, I know I screwed this up. I know we TPK'd. I don't want you to lose these characters. I'm having a lot of fun. But again, it just goes to show.
Call me banana.
Thanks for the info. I will have to talk to my DM to help me out to make my
What? Jesus Christ. Brutal. Just brutal. Sounds like a fun time though. But an angry Tarask right off the hop. Woo. That's crazy. Also, are you guys hearing the notifications twice, or is that me? It makes sense to be nervous, but I feel like it's closer to excitement. Yeah, it's butterflies. I get nervous before every CC session stream, and I'm just watching. Come on, B-Town, I'm not that bad. Boss fight concept is a massive monster monk with stuns and multi-attacks out the ass. I'm an imposing status with someone that needs to save chain to it and copies of that exact person summoned every round. Statue drains HP from prisoners, giving it to the boss. Monks can use their reaction to take an attack for the monster monk once per turn. At what level is this at? Also, Maddie, hi to you too, my friend. Hopefully you're doing well. B-Town, you're jumping back and forth on me. You're on YouTube, you're on Twitch. You're a wild one, my friend. Thank you so much. Flind equals CR9 has a lovely flail with some nasty effects. Interesting. What is that from? Is that from Monsters of the Multiverse or whatever it is? Well, the preparation was fine, but the running it all was a lot to handle. The monster in the one-shots were meant and made to not be lethal. TPK would have been very surprising, and adjusted them a bit in the fight to get them a bit more challenging. That's always an okay idea, especially if you're starting off. If this is your first time DMing, go weak and then scale up from there. Once you have an understanding of how your players work, how they manage the combat sequences, then you can start making more adjustments on the fly to make them a little bit more lethal. But yeah, starting low and then going up from there is 100% the right idea. This is low-key chaotic. I can barely keep up with one chat. Mad props. Elvie, it's something, my friend. It is something. I totally abandoned homebrew. I just can't make balanced stuff. It takes some decent math to pull that off. My party got really pissed with homebrew. Yeah, I think the best thing to do is what I did to get around it, because I had the same problem at the very beginning. I was like, I can write this game better than D&D can. Blah, 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 blah. My ideas are amazing. And I wanted to homebrew as much as humanly possible. That became a huge problem for me when I first started DMing. So I think the big difference was what I did to get around that, to get a little bit more comfortable with homebrewing things, is I started off by tweaking existing monsters. I'd make variations of like a goblin or a hobgoblin or a Tarask, and I would adjust things here and there. And that made me a little bit more comfortable and get a much better understanding of, okay, how do the mathematics of this work? I don't know which platform to watch, so I'm watching on both. Again, we're just trying things out. We encourage everybody to come over on Twitch if you're not already following on Twitch. This is where we do most of our campaign stuff. This is where we do all of our world building sessions, where Raina has her kind of her community chill night on Wednesday nights. So if you're not following over on Twitch, that is the best place to go to get caught up with all of our content. I mean, obviously we disseminate that through the various platforms, but Twitch is home base. I'm not sure if including chat on screen is allowed in the guidelines for simulcasting. I don't care, LV. I'm gonna do it anyway. Easy way around it. Reason to escape. Doesn't matter if it's the master called it away or heard its eggs hatching. Just give it a reason. Yeah, I would agree with that for the most part. And I like that concept because I think it's important that mostly... What's up?
I just wanted to see what it looks like.
There's shit everywhere right now. I've got this here, I've got this here, I've got this there, I've got that there, I've got that over there. Do you want to wave? Want to wave to the people? Everybody say hi to Raina's hand. Everybody gives love. Show some hearts for Raina's hand.
Wait, what are the...
No, that's now no gang signs.
No,
Stop throwing up gang signs.
Something new different with the hearts. We used to go like this. They do.
That is, I'm pretty sure that's a devil sign. And
It's a miracle.
it is a miracle.
I'm back.
Hey, welcome back, Maddie. Good to see you, my friend. Thank you so much for the 3 months. Love your face. Thank you very much. Yeah, one thing I definitely want to, I'd ideally like to have my players do more is get comfortable with running away. To come back and fight another day. I think but that's a very fine line. You really have to know what you're doing as a DM to get close to lethality. Lethality? Whatever, I'm a wordologist, I'm allowed to say whatever I want. And try and get used to giving a little bit more options there. It's level 8, but the server I'm in is geared heavily towards being powerful. What? Server? LeBlanc, I will make sure to pass the note on to Raina to give you a pump you up on Wednesday nights. Fireside Chat is for our Wednesday night show. Please come join us there. For instance, everyone has level 8, and in 3 character turns, they did 98 damage to the monster monk. Dear Lord in heaven. For homebrew monsters, I suggest that taking the stats of an existing monster and reflavor the way it looks. See, OG knows what she's talking about. Big fan of tweaking existing stat blocks. It's the best way to get into homebrew. Unquestionably, that's kind of what I've always said. I had scary desert dogs with split jaws, but the stat blocks was just a wolf. Yeah, exactly. You can bulk it up a little bit. Just change 1 or 2 stats on them and see how that goes. That's the best way to go about it. Also, congratulations, LV. You leveled up. Still trying to figure out what the hell that does. Also, Love Murder Rose. Congratulations on leveling up. Don't know what that does yet. Oh, Maddie, that was with the Prime? You're dropping Primes on this place? Thank you very much, my friend. Mexican cartels in chat. True. I was a Beastmaster, so I had to tame it. I rolled a 25, so I rolled a d20, and I had intelligence roll with a d10. I rolled a 15, then a 10, just enough to tame it, but it turned into a baby Tarrasque, but after that I passed out because I lost all mana for 3 turns. Dear Lord in heaven. Mana? What is this mana you speak of? Lethality was correct. Thank you, LV. Thank you. All right. What time is it? How long have I been doing this for? An hour 20? Okay, we'll do 10 more minutes. If you have any more questions, feel free to pop them down in chat.
Whistle me Dixie.
Well, whistle me Dixie. Thank you, Cross, for the 2 new friends, Jessica Bell and Sentimental Egg. Give some love to Cross. If you're in chat right now, you're welcome. Enjoy the emotes. Cross, thank you again so much. Much appreciated, my friend. And a hype train is close. Very interesting. I wish they had hype trains on YouTube as well. I think it'd be a lot better. Oh yeah, I keep forgetting I have Prime subs. Every time you were saying Maddie, I was hearing my name, so have a happy double Prime. Wait, Maddie, did you drop a Prime as well? No, I didn't see it. That's okay. That's okay. Per Raw, I think PCs can't create a permanent demiplane anymore. A permanent demiplane anymore. I don't know what you're referring to, LeBlanc. Yes, Maddie 66. I did see that. Thank you very much. Appreciate you very, very much. Thank you for the Prime. Jessica Bile? That's interesting. No, Jessica Bell. Also, Maddie, congratulations on leveling up to level 1. I still don't know what it does, but well done. You did good, kid. You did good. Mine was a primate. Well, I mean, technically, aren't we all primates? Yeah, see what I did there? All right. Well, womp womp. I know. Solid hit there. Tried my best. All right. Well, this has been fun. This has been interesting. Maddie and Maddie Primes. Exactly. This has been fun. This has been interesting. I think we're going to wrap it up here. I would raid, but I really don't know what the hell that's going to do. It has been an absolute blast. I'm going to try this again sometime. I'm going to see how this all goes, how this all works out. We're going to tweak a little bit just to see if we can make some changes. I am going to try and get, going to try and get YouTube on the screen as well. I'll have to look into that a little bit to see what exactly I need to do to circumvent. I'm going to try and circumvent the TOS. Which I think is always fun. Mandaria is on if you want. Maddie, I've got so many things. So, Maddie, I'm on YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch right now. I don't know how that's all going to happen. And by the way, has she said she's just doing
Whistle me Dixie.
Oh, Whistle Me Dixie. Thank you so much for the gifted, the new friend, Raina. Appreciate that. Justin Ankar, if you're still here, show a little love to Raina. She's gifting them out all over the place today. Yay, more Dave streams. I'd like to do a little bit more streams. I think that I made the decision a little bit at the turn of the year, the turning of the clock, if you will, where I think it's high time I get back into a little bit more D&D advice. I always made the comment of no one comes here to learn how to play D&D. They go to other places to learn rules as written and blah, 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 blah. But I've kind of got over that. I am going to kind of be doubling down a little bit more next year in terms of giving you guys the advice that I have as a dungeon master. Hell, I've been doing it for 7 years. I know a thing or two.
Whistle me Dixie.
LeBlanc, give some love to Raina. She's dropping them all over the place today. We also have new things up here. A good amount of DMing advice helps for other systems. We could talk about other systems as well. Looks like we got to be ready for C3. True. We do need everybody to be ad free for 2020 or C3. I almost said 2023. Anyway, what I was saying is I'm going to stop. There's too much chat on my screen right now. I'm going to look down, so I stop paying attention to it the entire time. I definitely want to help out a little bit more. So I'm thinking about changing Thursday nights a little bit. We have done some mini painting. We might continue to do that. But I like talking to you guys about D&D. I like talking to you about the game. I like talking to you about the system. I love talking to you about, things that are happening within the space from the company perspective as well and the business side of things.
Paint me yellow and call me banana.
All right,
Here's
I'll
a hype
stick
train.
around for a little bit longer. B-Town, thanks so much for kicking off the hype train. You, my friend, are an absolute legend. Thank you so much for the 100. Always appreciate you and constantly supporting us. It does everything to help us keep the lights on around here. So thank you very much for that.
Call me banana.
Cheer 200.
Okay, Raina, thank you so much. You're going crazy with it. I appreciate you. You could slow down now. Thank you very much. So a good discussion with new peeps and new opinions mates for great debate. I 100% believe that as well, Elvie. I think it's high time that we bring more communication back to the D&D space on all levels. It's one thing to teach and talk about the game, but there's other things that are happening. I point immediately towards Twitter. I think that there is stuff happening in the D&D space that needs to change, and we need to be able to talk about these kind of things. And that's part of the things that I want to start focusing on around here. Also, Raina Ray, thank you so much for the
No, this is going crazy with it.
B-Town with the 5,000 B-Town, you crazy Dutch bastard. 5,000 bits. Thank you so much for that. Holy shit. You absolute mad lad, dude. Thank you so fucking much for that. I can't believe that. Thank you.
Call me banana.
More supple bitties.
Cross, more supple biddies. Thank you so much. I see the 300 bouncing around the screen. Dear Lord in heaven, guys, thank you. B-Town is a monster. Can we get some hearts in chat for B-Town? Flood it up, my friends. Give that love to B-Town. Can't appreciate you more, my friend. 5,000. My God. My God. He's gone mad with power. Well, you're Dutch today, B-Town. Yard today, my friend. Thank you again. Thank you. And thank you for the level 5. Got to test it for Rowdy? True. Well, Rowdy is a wonderful being as well.
Dixie.
Mac, you didn't have to do that, but thank you very much for the gifted to Barfin Up. Interesting name. Surprised that's allowed on Twitch. Thank you very much, Mac. Appreciate you for the gifting. And I'm always happy to see you here, my friend. Hopefully that you're doing well, and life is treating you good. I see all the artworks that's going into Discord. By the way, we do have a Discord. If you're not already there, come join us. It's a grand old time. We talk a lot over there. We hang out. That's really where you can get to the central hub of the Tripper community. Yeah, if one of my mods can, thank you very much, Mac. Appreciate you. Yeah, come join the Tripper fam. We're totally not a cult around here. Definitely not a cult. Blood snuggles at midnight, ? But not a cult. Not a cult. Might be going down to South Africa to build some homes. Definitely not a cult. I want the username, like, and subscribe. You should do that, B-Town. I think you can switch your names. Just do it on another platform. It's easy.
Paint me yellow and call me banana.
Have a
Oh,
bit laughing smiley, hash commoner economy laughing smiley.
I appreciate you. Why do I always struggle with your name? LeBlanca. LeBlanca, thank you for the biddy. Every bit helps. Thank you very much. Noah K8. I don't know what your message said. All right. Well, it probably wasn't good. Also, someone just Kiwimon, welcome to the Tripper family. Thank you so much for joining us today. Hopefully you're enjoying your day. We're gonna be wrapping up shortly, but it has been a fantastic time, guys. I've had a lot of fun. I think I want to do this a lot more with you guys in the future. What do you want? A Kiwimon? Kiwimon, did you find us from one of the platforms, or did you just see us on Twitch having a good time and having a chat around? I'd be interested to know if us being live on another platform actually made any kind of difference for us.
Well, whistle me Dixie.
Oh, whistle me Dixie! I love these new alerts. They make me smile in all the right ways. Twitch, amazing. Thank you, Raina, for dropping the sub to Kiwimon. Much appreciated, and welcome in, Kiwimon. Come join us on the Discord if you're into D&D and just general good vibes with a very, very cool community. Come join us on Discord if you have it. We'd love to see you over there. Be a lot of fun. You can see messages. You can see message me to reverse it if you just have an odd set, but in mindful in this chat shows us on screen. I am so oh, because of the thing. Okay, we'll talk LV, we'll talk about it after.
Just a peek of the bit is due to TOS. Check out my OF for more.
Thank you so much for the 200 GF powers. Those soft, supple, moist, round, beautiful bouncing biddies of yours. My God. Whew. Thank you again, Mac, for dropping the Discord link. Appreciate you. Appreciate you all the same. There you go. There's the Discord link. Joined you from short videos. Colin Girl, welcome in. There's messages popping up on TikTok I'm trying to get to as well. Yes, thank you for the showing the love. Guys, thank you so much for the level 5 hype train, level 4 hype train, but doesn't matter. That you're all in my heart. You guys are fantastic. I love you all immensely. Thank you for continuing to support this channel, this community, and keeping us going. This is really what it boils down to. Much appreciated, friends. Congrats on the level up. Yes, Raina leveled up as well. Only level 1. You got to start somewhere. I wonder if that changes from time to time. Anyway, folks, we are going to wrap up for the day. It has been a blast. Thank you all of those who have joined us on YouTube. Thank you who have joined us on Twitch. Thank you who have joined us on TikTok. It has been an absolute pleasure to be here for all of you. We'll do some tweaks for the next one to make sure that it all makes sense and that everybody can hear well and all of those type of things. For now, that's it for me, guys. Thank you again. Love all your faces. And remember, to all you adventurers out there, whether you find yourself on YouTube, on Twitch, on TikTok, battling baby Tarasques, I beg you all, one word of caution. Be careful out there. You can trip. Great to see you all again. We'll see you real soon. Take care.